Well, hello everyone, and about a year ago I made this video about the camera tools mode, and here is the lot of things which you have to know, and right now I will show you how to use it properly. Wait, new things, a lot of new things. I'm confused. What you're talking about? Well, that's not so hard. I made this video in 3 big blocks. The first one is the stationary camera. I will show you how to use it step by step. First, we will use the surface mode, which is the main frame of reference in this part. You can set it the flyby position in auto mode and manually. The biggest difference between them that the auto mode usually, right now not, but usually put your camera in a random position, while in the manual flyby position you can set your own. And right now I am selecting my target with the set target button. You can select your any part of your craft as the center of the camera, I guess, and the target self will select your part of your craft from where you control it, as far as I understand. And right now we will see that how does it works in while we are moving and or flying. At the auto flyby position you can see that the camera usually a little bit far from your craft, but with the manual flyby position you can set it as close as you can, or even be beneath the ground while you are still there. With the keypad control you can move your camera around. You can use the numpad keys, which I showed you in the first seconds of this video, and after that you can set the values where to put your camera, and as always, usually your camera will, let's say, appear in that position. But the biggest difference is that while you are flying, in the second option, with the manual flyby position, the camera usually fly by your craft in the same way. The second what we will look at is the initial velocity. It's a tricky one if you select the orbital option too, because in that case your camera will move towards the ground and eventually will move across the surface, as you can see, excuse me. But the main feature of this camera mode is that your camera, while you're activated, as you can see, usually goes at the same speed as your craft's last speed while you're activated the camera, and also follows the last prograde velocity, prograde marker of your craft, and that's why you can see these strange camera moves or like this. Yeah. With this you can also do some really interesting and really cool flyby motions like this one. The last one from the stationary mode is the orbit of a frame of reference, and here you can set how fast the camera will fly by next to your craft. Right now it's 200, but now I will set to 1, and even in a double of normal speed flies next to my plane really slowly. And mainly while you are using this option, this orbit mode, your camera will move westwards, and at the same time it will also move backwards, because as far as I know the camera in this case, let's say, cancel the how should I explain this one, stays in one place, and that's why Kerbin moves through the camera, as far as I know, as I understand. With this one you can do also some really good flybys. And right now we will take a look at the pathing camera, which will make your camera tool move around in a certain way, and we will make some path around the plane and the landing capsule with you step by step. And of course, as in the stationary camera, here also you can use the zoom effects, and with the numpad keys you also can move the camera around when the camera is activated. And right now we will make a path which will make a path which will look from the plane to the landing capsule, and later we will expand it, which will moves our camera back to the plane. And to do that you always have to click on the new key button, which will activate your camera, and then add the time, which can be at least 1 second, and also you have to move your camera around. and with the interpolation rate, the higher the number, the movement will be more squarey. Let's say that if the interpolation rate set to 1, your camera will move much more smoother. Fine, and right now we will do a move around with the camera tool around the plane and the landing capsule, and for this one we again have to open the new keyframe with the new key button and just have to move the camera around and set the time as you want. Here I used from 3 to 6 seconds, and just have to move around your camera for every key, for every scene, and when you are ready you just have to activate your camera once again to make it move with the home key, and you are done. Also, you can use as many keyframes as you wish, so you have no limitation. And right now we will do a scene where the camera arises from the back of the head of our character and will raise to the KSC, and then we'll zoom in. For the smooth camera handling, at the move speed you can change your numbers. I set it to 1 to put the camera for the first time frame right behind the Kerbal's head, so it will fill the whole camera. The camera tools have that glitch which makes your Kerbal and also everything a little bit weird when you move the camera, let's say, too far away. And right now we will make the camera move in a spinning line, which will goes further and further, and actually we will move the camera at the edge of space. And for this one you have to set the move speed later, and actually if you hold the right mouse button and move your mouse clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can turn your camera in the pathing mode to the left and to the right. And for this one you will see some good examples. Alright, so right now we will talk about the dogfight camera, the last one of the three tools in this mod, without a secondary target. In the dogfight camera it will work as a lock camera in the stock KSP, but with a secondary target it will put the center of view, let's say, between the two crafts, so both of them mostly always will be visible. Yeah, and as, let's say, usual, you can also move the camera with the numpad keys. And here I show that the center of view is mostly between the crafts. And this is just a short example. What does it look like when you use this dogfight camera with a secondary target? And I also will show you, let's say, how to use the camera tools mode in space, because you can see the biggest differences between the tools in space. So for example, right now we have these two probes, and I would like to dock with them together, but first I will use the stationary camera tools. And the biggest between the stationary and the dogfight camera, as you can see, in the stationary camera the target is always in the center, and the other craft is which is in motion, and that's all. But in the dogfight camera, as I said earlier, the center of view is mostly always between the two crafts. It's a much more active camera view, let's say that. But in this case, both of them can be used for docking scenes, if you are planning to do some of them in videos. Yeah, so basically that was my my extended let's say tutorial for the camera tools mod, and I would like to show what you can do with this mod, and, you know, subscribe and other things. Bye.